Who is more important in a speech? The audience. Because as a speaker, you want to convey a message to the audience to bring awareness or action. You want to make sure your audience understands you and wants to listen to you. To achieve this, organizing your speech is a must. An organized speech is easier to follow, easier to remember, more credible, and also easier for the speaker to recite the speech. But remember, there is no such thing as the best speech organization, but a suitable one. In a speech, there is an opening, a body, and a closing. The same structure used by award-winning speeches and starter speeches. This video will tell you what differentiates between the two and how to improve your own speech with these techniques. In the opening, your objective is to capture audience attention, and even better is to ignite their interest in listening to you. You may start with a startling question or a challenging statement, or an appropriate quotation or story. Some people would even start with a display of some objects or pictures. All these are the effective ways to start a speech. What are the ineffective ones? A story or joke that does not relate to your topic, no matter how funny they are. Or a long, slow-moving statement or story that slowly take away audience interest. A common observation or an overused question are also to be avoided. Also, the last thing you want to do is to lead the audience on. Therefore, reveal your subject in the opening. Now let's take a look at how professional speakers take advantage of their opening.
The steering wheel jerked. I tried to keep the car in control. That night in Chicago, a flat tire changed me.
You see, it's usually a person who changed a tire, but he said a tire changed him. This created a bit of suspense. Yet, we can still expect that he will be telling us how he's changed by a tire. Now, with the audience waiting for you to kill their thirst, you will move on to the main part of your speech, the body. There are many ways for you to arrange your speech. They split into linear structure and loop structure. For linear, you can organize your speech in a chronological way, meaning that your speech follows a timeline or story that proceeds by time. Problem and solution. But is that all you can mention? You can also talk about the cause and effect. And if you want your speech to be even more convincing, also cover the implications. Pros and cons. Whether it's about a hobby you took up, a proposal, you can also talk about the limitations. Lastly, point reasons. You may think it's the most tedious, but this organization is undoubtedly a clear and understandable way to present your ideas. Here, you can see how this champion speaker incorporates 3 of these organizations in his speech. Comment below which one you've found. There is also a loop structure, in which speaker uses the same expression or statement over and over again. For example, like the following speaker.
Son, I see something in you, but I don't know what it is. In the middle of the night, I wake up my beautiful wife and I ask her, honey, why did you marry me? She says, I saw something in you. But I still don't know what it is. And this is why if you have great people in your life, no matter how broke, how lost, or how broken you become, they can piece you back together. Ladies and gentlemen, when I look at you, I see something in you. But I don't know what it is.
This organization leaves a strong impression in the audience and is appropriate when you have a main message for the audience to remember. After giving all the details of your speech, here we come to the closing, which is also the final opportunity to make your speech memorable. Here, you will reinforce your ideas in a way so they leave with the audience a lasting impression. Say, you were informing the audience, remind them what are the points you mentioned. If you are motivating the audience, you can suggest an action to be taken. Let's take a look at the following example.
When I left the fortune teller, He gave me a tube of moisturizing cream and a fortune cookie. And when I broke open the fortune cookie, the message was blank. Best piece of advice I ever got. The answer for me and the answer for you is not in a fortune cookie or with some fortune teller. It's not within his hands, her hands, or anybody else's hands. Trust yourself. The answer is in your hands.
Notice how the speaker restated his message? With the help of other speaking techniques like body gesture, he effectively made use of the closing to amplify the impact of his speech. There you have all the tips in your pockets of how to score higher with as simple as organization of a speech. But out of all, the most important is the timing. Scientifically speaking, human brains are not programmed to process a large amount of data. Therefore, keep your introduction to 20% of your speech, or usually 1 to 2 minutes. Just like the Fanco slogan, less is more. Keep only up to 3 points in your body. Too many ideas in your speech means less elaboration for each idea and more difficult to remember. To keep your conclusion powerful, do not speak too less nor too much. Around 1 to 2 minutes would be adequate to highlight the essence of your speech. I hope you now have a better understanding of how a speech could be organized. Thank you for watching.